All right, what do you say we talk a little Patriots here? And so this is the stuff that I'm seeing, and I'm trying to figure out exactly what they're doing. I think it makes it really hard on their young quarterback. But again, to me, I'm always just asking the question, why? What are we doing on this particular play? Okay, so as we run here, here's the concept, at least as it's run. We're going to run a solo corner route over here. We're going to run a solo in route here. We're going to run this guy on some kind of hook or choice, and then we're going to run this guy right into him on a shallow route. So again, I'm not sure what we're trying to do here. I mean, look at what the quarterback is seeing right here is that we've got all these bodies inside kind of running together, and our quarterback, and he's got a good pocket here. I don't know if he needs to really take off, maybe see some color, but again, okay, I don't know. If this guy is going to cover this, then where's the counter throw to it? I don't know why this guy's running into this guy where maybe we have some sort of high-low. I don't know. To me, I just can't figure it out, and so I don't know what to tell a young quarterback when this is your spacing or this is your concept. And now, maybe somebody messed this up and they were supposed to do something different, which is quite possible here. But all I'm saying is this is what Drake Maye is seeing when he drops back, and so many of these he's just got to create. And this is the kind of stuff that I kind of see all over tape. I think I just pulled 7 plays right here. But, okay, so you're seeing right here, we're going to have a go and an out right here. But due to timing, okay, so that's messed up. Bodies everywhere. And then I don't know what we're doing from there, okay? So I'm not sure what this guy's doing. Is he supposed to be running a shallow to get across here for the vision of the quarterback? The back's coming right underneath him as he slows down on the hash. I'm not sure what the outside guy, and he's trying to chip or run through a guy anyway, so this has just got to be kind of a secondary type concept back here, even though he's trying to push up the field. So again, it's just hard. I don't know. Like, if you're going to run a shallow route here, man, we need to dip and go and get past this hash over here to give some vision. He goes around the backer and then he slows down on the front side hash. So I've got to read everything over to the left and then try to come all the way back to the right and figure out what's going on back there to make a decision here. And again, it leads to Drake Maye having to create, and he's done a great job of creating opportunities, but to me, their concepts or their spacing is making it really, really hard to play on time. So again, let's talk about concepts and spacing. Okay, so I think this is a concept that everybody is running now. So it's a quick out, a corner route over the top, and then they run some kind of a hook or a possible option right here. Okay, so as we come out to run this, I mean, look what we're getting here in terms of spacing. Like, this is my concept. This is what I'm looking at as the quarterback, and there's just no spacing whatsoever. This guy wants to jump. There's no spacing to make this throw to the corner route right here. And I know we slipped there as we're trying to go back inside, I think, on the choice route, but this is where we're at. Spacing, we got another 3 guys within, 7-8 yards of each other. And so, okay, you get jammed on the outside. No problem. We take that away with man. Now this guy has got to push up, lean, and separate and save some space, not only distance-wise between the underneath guy, but also save some space from the sideline. So I've got a chance. To try to throw this off of press coverage and be on time to be able to hit a corner route right there, It's really, really hard. And so, again, you know, we blame a lot of things. We can say it's good defense here, jamming the guys. I get it. It's just really hard for a young quarterback to try to play football like this. So we've got to continue to work to help him with different things. Okay, so here's another one. So we're going to run, and again, I'm just looking at the front side. Nothing wrong with this concept on the back side. The seam and a hitch, what I call hiss, can be a good concept if he reads over there. On this front side, though, we're running a quick stick route here, and then we're running an in route to the inside over the top, and then we're running a go route. All right, so the hard part about this is they're playing a zone coverage. So if they're playing zone, this guy's going to run right into this guy, and he's going to run right into this guy, as you see right here. They just pass this off so easily because of how it happens. Like, there's no chance to throw it over here. And then you're like, okay, where do I go as a quarterback if I read this side? Yes, we can say read the other side. I get it. But create a concept that allows him to be successful. And, you know, so what does that mean? Okay, so I understand what they're trying to do here, or at least I think I do. We're trying to grab this guy with the stick so we can throw the in up over the top. But let's just say we always have to plan for, but what if he doesn't? What if he doesn't grab the stick? What are we going to do? So to me, I think there's a couple different options that you can run. And again, it's how you want to do it. So one option is you could try to switch release these guys and let this guy come outside, okay? Come at this guy outside, and you're trying to hold leverage to the inside, and then you run it in, and then kind of a delayed under. So we can come back as a quarterback, and we can read this guy. If he gets deep, I throw the under. If he gets width and works to me, then I can throw the in back behind him. Or you can do something similar to this. So I get this. Let's go in here, and let's try to grab the Mike linebacker. And then let's get in here and run the in, okay? So I'm okay with all of that. But then once you start outside, you know there's going to be a body out there. So instead of doing that, let's run this guy back on a return. So let's push up, push out, okay? So if they do switch it like this, we're in fine shape, okay? They switch it. They play it really, really well. And he turns off to cover this. Now let's take this guy and let's return him back underneath. So if this Mike linebacker wants to take this, then we can work accordingly. The other thing that we can do is they put a go on the outside. The other thing that I would probably do on this is I would put a go conversion. Okay, so what do I mean by that? I'm sorry, I would put a comeback conversion on this play. So I'm going to run a deep comeback here, and this is one of those that against a cover 2 look. So if they roll the safety over and roll the corner down, we're going to turn this into a go. So we can hold that safety there, you know, and hold them to the outside so we can work back in to whatever we're doing here with the high-low and cover 2, and the safety can't get involved. If the safety gets involved, then we can throw the go down the sideline. If we get a corner off look like this, now we can read this inside. Okay, we can read the Mike linebacker, and then we can come out of this and we can, you know, read the Sam linebacker at that point. So it's Mike backer. Okay, we think we're throwing the return. The Sam backer squeezes it. I can work right out here to a comeback on the same side. Okay, so just like this. Okay, they play it just like this, and this guy grabs whatever's going there. Boom. Just come, work outside to your comeback, so you've got a full concept on the front side that can work really against every coverage. And that's really what we're hoping for, because you're either throwing the go now or you're not throwing the go. So once you're off the go, now you're stuck in here, and now we're just running guys to different zones, so we're stuck on the front side with no option, and here we go down again. And we can look at the concepts and say, well, he wouldn't have had time to do that. Well, he might not have had time to do that. I mean, that's a whole nother issue, but we still have to give him options so he's got some answers if he does have time. Okay, so So here's kind of another one. Now, they hit this one. It's a great feel. They bring interior pressure, and Drake replaces it. Boom. And we hit it right there. But I'm just trying to figure out, again, what is the concept right here. Now, I have no problem with, okay, we're going to run a deep corner route, and then we're going to try to replace with the shallow. So, okay, but I'm looking more at this front side. Okay, so what we end up doing here is we run an outside release curl, and then it looks like the back is running a shoot right into him. Okay, so you see, like look at this spacing once again right here. So let's say I wanted to read it over there, and they covered that, and I wanted to read the curl over here to the shoot. There's no spacing again. There's bodies everywhere on this particular play. Okay, so what would you do? Well, I would understand what we have behind it if this is supposed to be a shoot. Now, maybe this is supposed to be a swing, okay, and I don't mind it quite as much. But if I'm running a shoot where I'm coming down the sideline, I don't want to take more bodies into that. So even if we have to expand out, I want to jump back inside the guy to run the curl to pull that guy with me and then open up the outside here. When we just push with width outside the numbers, like, look at this. If the quarterback's reading over here, if that's dead backside and he's reading over here, we just got a bunch of stuff, once again, with the spacing to this side that it's just hard. You know, like, I don't really know what he would do to this side. Now, I think they're working this shallow here to replace. So if you don't have the curl, then work the shallow to replace. Okay? The other aspect to it is, okay, what else could you do different? Well, I could understand what the concept is, what I'm trying to do, and maybe flip this on the other side because we want more spacing. Okay, so let's just, again, we'll just use the bodies that we have here, but let's just say we're doing that here. So now we could run curl and it would end up here, you know, a couple yards inside the numbers. We run the shoot right here. That's going to give us spacing. And then we run the shallow back here. So there's more space out to the front side to the curl. So now the shallow's not going to get there too fast, and we can create that spacing that we want off of different defenders. But again, a lot of times the spacing and details to me aren't what they're looking for, or I guess what they should be to help make it easier on your quarterback. Okay, so here's one that I've seen a couple times. And again, not the front side. I don't mind the front side as much, although I would change some details of it. But I see this all the time with this team is they run basically a semi and an out on the same side of the field. So you see Drake Maye's looking over here to the left. But again, you like, look at this spacing. How am I able to, at any time, throw this route right here? Like, if I'm trying to throw this and let this go, I've got to throw and beat this guy with the throw because he could fall off and cover both these guys. He's covering the out, could fall off and cover the one over the top of it simply because of spacing. Like, it's too tight of spacing to run that concept. Okay, I have no problem if you're going to push this to 12 and then roll it to 15, and he's going to run at 4 or 5 yards here. Now we've at least got 10 yards of space in which I can manipulate those defenders. But running one at 12 and one at 5 or 6, we don't have that option. The quarterback has no chance unless it's just a perfect throw, perfect timing. But we're just lending ourselves to having issues here with what we're doing. All right, I always talk about the spacing on the front side too. So they're going to run an in, a hook, and a swing. All right, so I'm one that always has to try to understand the spacing of it. Now, it works here, but the question you always have to ask is with this in route, where am I trying to hit this in route? Okay, so what I would want to do is push this guy outside and get a little bit more width so I can keep him to the front side in terms of where I'm throwing it. Then I'll run the swing, I'll widen and run the hook. And why are you doing that, Kurt? Okay, because what I always want to make sure I'm doing is I want to keep it a front side read. So if it's a front side read, it's to the right, I want to keep it to the right. I never want to throw it past the ball because I can't read the defenders back there. Okay, so with this concept, I like this concept against a corner off defense. So what am I trying to do here? Okay, so the first thing is I'm going to isolate this guy right here in a corner off. So if that guy wants to stay tucked inside, I'm going to kick my swing. If this guy wants to go outside, I'm ready to hit my hook right there. And now the only guy that can take away the hook is this linebacker pushing to it. So when he pushes to it, or if he pushes to it, now I can hit the in over the top of him on that side of the field. Now, they get a similar type thing, but you see how far in this guy is before he would ever get the football. Okay, and so that's always my concern there, is that if he gets too far in or we run this too tight, that's the only place I can throw him the football, and we can bring a backside defender to the party. Now, it's not going to happen here because the Mike linebacker doesn't push, but let's go swing. Let's push out here with more width on our hook. So we have to force this guy to cover further, and then by keeping this guy out here wider and forcing the Mike to cover further, now we get a chance to hit this wider and to the front side so backside defenders can't get involved. Once we squeeze this all down, okay, so I like what this receiver starts to do. He starts to widen, but then notice how he turns and tightens it up right there. See how he tightens it back up? So now we squeeze this whole area for these two guys to throw it. No need to squeeze, okay? The back too. Go. Get outside back. Don't slow down, okay? So start out here and keep attacking him. If you get outside of him, fine. I don't care about that. If you get outside of him, then I should be kicking it to my swing because there's nobody else out there. But as you get width, he's probably going to get width. He gets outside of you. Now you've created more space from the Mike linebacker. Now, if he wants to come running to you, we've created a nice little window and a nice little buffer here to be able to hit this in before the backside guy can get involved, okay? So not terrible front side, but I think they can do better from a spacing standpoint on this. And so I always like to look at these things based on how we would run it if we were in a normal alignment. If we were in a normal alignment with the wide receiver, let's just say we put him on the bottom of the numbers, so the outside of the numbers. On that, we would seam inside to get to about this spot, and then we would run our wrap. So if we're in a stack alignment, I like to create the same sort of spacing, and that's why we would burst out to get to that same line. Then we would push up, and we would create the same spacing. The same with number 2. Where is your landmark? Okay, we're going to put your landmark 1 yard from the numbers. Okay, maybe to the wide side, we say 2 yards from the numbers so the back can get outside of you a little bit more. Whatever that is, push and hold that position. Okay, and we base that position off of where we feasibly think this guy has to go to cover both of those routes. Okay, we don't want to go so wide that he can cover the hook and the flat at the same time, but we want to get wide enough that we force this guy to be in a bind and have to really move to cover us, so we're forcing them to cover as much space as possible, giving us the biggest advantage and the easiest opportunity for our quarterback. Nice read right there, but you'll see this is what I see with New England a lot, is lack of spacing, whether that's receivers, whether that's coaching, whether that's understanding of what we're trying to do on each particular play. But imagine being the quarterback back there trying to figure these things out and determine where he's going to throw it with all these bodies so tight together.